Hi there, welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today we'll be walking you through your 2024 Sportsman SE260 BHSE. We're just going to start off the back of the unit. If you notice up top, you are pre-wired for an observation camera. If you'd like to get set up for that, you can contact a parts department and they can get you a quote for getting set up with that. Also in the back, you have your spare tire, and then your main water heater port to get that to open. It does have to be like this, and you just pop that open and give it a twist, and then it unlocks. Your main power button is just right here. Hitting that button does send power to the thermostat, which is inside. You got your pressure relief valve right here. And there is just a little drain right here as well. Around the left side of the unit, taking this bumper cap, pulling it off, that is going to be where you can keep your sewer hose, keeps the smell out of the unit. In this corner, as well as all four corners of the unit, you have stabilizer jacks. The way that works is you're going to hook the tool, which is located inside the front compartment, up to this drive nut, run this down to the ground. Once it contacts the ground, just giving it another 1/8 turn just to snug it up, and it's just going to take any bounce or sway you see we have in the unit right now away. And just a little more forward, you do have your main sewer outlet system. You're just taking that cap, twisting it, and pulling it off. These are going to be the same ears your sewer hose has. It hooks up the same way. It lines up with these notches here, and once it's on, you're just giving it a good turn and it locks into place. Then you got your gray valve and your black, or your gray valve and your black valve. You're always going to want to empty your black valve first. That's going to be your dirtiest water filled from your toilets. Then you can come behind that with your gray valve, which is typically a little cleaner water coming from your sinks and your showers, just to try and keep that hose that little bit cleaner. And then located just up in the fender here, you got those two valves. Those are going to be your low point drains. You do have an exterior shower. You got your 751 key, which should come included with the unit right here. And you just unlock it, and it gives you access to that shower head with hot and cold water. Right above that, you do have your black tank flush. The way that works is you do have to have your black tank open and your sewer connected, which is very important because you do run the risk of exploding your tank if you don't do so. Thread a garden hose in here, turn it on. It's just going to rinse out that black tank, keeping it that little bit cleaner. You got your fridge service port right here. This silver port, whenever you're running your furnace, is going to be blowing a hot air, so just be mindful of that. And then you just got your standard twist lock power end. You're taking that notch and you're lining it up with this notch here. Push it into place. Give another 1/8 turn just to lock it in, and then you got that threaded collar to really lock it down. And if you follow that cord back, you have your standard 30 amp plug-in. Most campsites should have this, so you can plug right on in. But let's say you're at home and you want to run your fridge, or your campsite only has 15 amp service. We do include a park adapter for that. Just keep it in mind whenever you're using that adapter, you're going down to 15 amps power, so you can't run too many things at once. It's mainly just to run your lights in your fridge. Once you do plug it in, you are going to have that blue light up top telling you have a successful power source. If that red light were to be on, it's just letting you know that your power source is bad. It's not a problem with the trailer. Right here, you're going to notice you do have your range hood vent. You're always going to want to make sure that guy's unlocked and opened up whenever you get to your campsite. That way it allows you to evacuate those fumes. And then whenever you're traveling, you can just pressing it and locking it into place, stopping any dust from getting excess dust from getting inside while you're traveling. You got your cable satellite inlet. You got your city water connection, which if you're out of sight with service, you thread your garden hose in here, turn it on. It's going to pressurize all your lines without the needing to run your water pump. And then you got your fresh water connection. Open that up, put your garden hose in there, fill it up. And that fills your fresh tank, and that's what your water pump draws off of. And then right here, you're just going to notice this little valve. This is just the fresh tank drain. Around the front of the unit, you got two 30-pound propane tanks as well as a tongue jack. Turning that button on does turn on that little light. And then you got up and you got down. And then you got your two standard 30-pound propane tanks. You're going to notice this little valve here. With this valve pointed this way, you're going to be running off this tank. And with your valve pointed that way, you're going to be running off that tank. And then just opening it up is just like your standard barbecue style. And that opens up the flow to the unit. And then you got your battery, which is housed inside this box here. And then right behind there, you do have a battery disconnect. With the battery disconnect switch on, the batteries are connected to the unit. And if you were to turn that battery disconnect switch to off, it would become disconnected from the unit. Along the left side, Opening up this compartment, you do have a lot of storage underneath. Here's your starter kit where you're going to find that 15 amp park adapter, water hose, and of course your sewer hose as well. And then on the wall is just that tool for those stabilizer jacks. You got 2 more 110 plugins as well as a cable satellite outlet if you were to want to hook up, and then you just have a storage compartment in the back here. To get inside, you're just taking this assist handle, pushing it up, holding it 90 degrees, it locks into place. Take your door handle and you can open it on up. Always making sure that you have this door fully open when you're going to bring those stairs down. To get those stairs to go down, you're just pulling that latch, pulling towards you. The stairs are going to start coming at you. Keep note, you got these notches here. If you pull this back, it'll allow you to change the height of your stair feet for your campsite needs, so you can have nice level stairs. Taking a step on inside, first thing you notice off to your left is just your fire extinguisher. It's going to be just like home, pull the pin and shoot. And then you do just have your main control panel just on the wall here. Turning that one light switch on turns on some main living space lights. You got your awning button. The way that works is you hit that button down to extend. That awning is going to start making its way out. Once fully extended, you're going to see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. Now if it were to start raining, you could take any arm, front, or rear and pull down on it. That's going to change the pitch to the awning head, allowing water to then run off. Now if you like that angle better, you could do the same thing with the other arm, and it's going to allow for more shade underneath, just always making sure you push them back to straight before you bring them in. And there you go. You've seen that little flap hang down in that back metal tube. So now we can retract it. One thing to keep in mind, you ever get to 5 to 10 km/h winds, you're going to want to bring that awning in, as you don't want to run the risk of ripping your fabric or bending your arms. You're going to know that awning's fully in when you hear it contact the side of the trailer. You also have an awning light, which is located in the top right corner. Turning that on turns on a little strip light underneath. And there you go. That is about to contact the side of the trailer, and you know it's in. You got your water pump switch, which draws out of your fresh tank. And then you got your monitor panel system, which you have your fresh, your battery. Then you have black 1 and gray 1. You don't have a black 2 or a gray 2. That's going to be it there. You got your thermostat right on the wall here. That's pretty simple. Pushing that button once, it just illuminates itself. Pushing it in again, you can go between your different modes, which is off, cool, heat, and then cool plus heat. Cool plus heat is just going to either turn on the heater or the air conditioner, depending on what the thermostat's set to, or you can turn them on individually. And then to get just the fan on, you're just pushing that button in and turning it over on the fan option to either high or low. That's going to turn the air conditioner fan on with no cooling or heating involved. And then one more time like that. And if you're on heat or cool, it'll allow you to change that room temperature at any point in time just by twisting that. On this back wall here, you got your sound bar. That's going to be pretty much just like home, minus the fact of you having zone 1 and zone 2. Zone 1 is going to be your interior speakers, and zone 2 is going to be your exterior speakers. You do have some storage space inside. Whenever you're running your air conditioner, it's going to be pushing all its air through the ceiling portals you see around. And whenever the furnace is running, it's going to be pushing its air through all the floor portals you see around the unit. Both the stove and the furnace run off propane. Propane's heavier than air. We do have an LP detector right down there. If that guy ever starts going off, you are just going to want to turn off the main supply of propane at the front of the unit and open up some windows just to help ventilate it out a little bit. All the blinds in the unit also work the same way. They just kind of sit where you leave them. And then inside, you do have this couch, which also turns into a bed. You're just having to pick up the foot of the couch and help it out, and it'll go up, down. To get it back in, you're just picking up the foot of the couch again, and then kind of grabbing the top of the couch, and then it'll allow you to fold that back in. Inside the bedroom space, your light switch is just on that far left wall. Turning that on. You do have a TV backer in here in case you were to want to mount another TV, as well as a cable satellite and 2 plugins. You got this little black button here. That's going to be turning on the satellite on the roof. With it off, it's off, and with the green light on, it's on. Whenever you do have that on, it also improves radio frequency, so I do just recommend leaving that on all the time. You got your emergency exit. The way that works is you're undoing that handle, pushing it out, and you can hop on out. Right after you pull that tab and pull the screen right out of place. And underneath the bed, you do have some storage space underneath. And on the wall, you have 2 You have a couple USB plugins as well as a couple 110 plugins. Whenever you're traveling, always making sure that you do have your travel straps on, because this door will slide freely, and if you leave it unhooked, latched, it will cause some damage. Taking a step into the kitchen space, you got your kitchen sink with hot and cold water. You got that range hood, which I showed you earlier. Microwave, just like home, not much I'm going to show you there. And then you get to your stove and oven. You're just turning those knobs over to that light option and hitting the sparker, and it fires right on up. Now sometimes it doesn't always happen this fast, especially when it comes to lighting the stove or the oven. So just be mindful of that. Sometimes you do have to purge some air out of the propane lines to get that oven to light. You turn that light switch on, you turn that over to pilot while pushing down, giving it a second for it to clear all the air out of the lines. And you just keep hitting that sparker until it lights. Just being patient, because sometimes it can take a few minutes. And there you go, that pilot lit, just holding it in for another second so it can hold its own, and then you can turn it up to your desired temperature, and it fires right on up. And then you have your fridge. Controls for that are just right up at the front there. Opening it up. To get it to turn on, you're just pushing and holding that power button. Pushing and holding that power button should turn it on. There you go. You got your temperature selection right in the middle there. So obviously with all of them illuminated, it's at its coldest settings. Right now it's currently on auto, so it's gonna first search for shore power. If shore power is taken away, it'll switch over to gas. Hitting that button again, you can have it run solely on gas or solely plugged in, so it doesn't switch over on gas. I do recommend just leaving it on auto, that way you don't run the risk of anything going bad inside the fridge. And then just holding that power button again to turn it off. Inside the bunk area, you do have lights, both top and bottom bunk, as well as some windows. Underneath that black back plywood would give you access to your water heater, but you don't have to bypass this one. You do just have to run antifreeze through it. You got your light switches on the wall, as well as a fan option over here. To get this fan to raise, it is a little bit of a different system. You're having to pull down and pull that like so. And if you notice, you can see right up through there. We do sell max air covers so that you can run this even when it's raining or you're traveling. But if you don't have any max air covers, you do always have to make sure this is closed up whenever you're traveling or it becomes raining. On the wall here, you got your main GFI plug. You got test on the bottom, reset in the middle. That little green light's telling you that you have a successful power source. And then you got your thermostat for your water heater on the wall here. Turning this button on tells you what your current output temp's going to be. Pushing that button up will bring you to your highest temperature, and pushing that button down will bring you to the lowest temperature, and anywhere in between is a little bit warmer. And then that power button just to turn it off. You got your toilet and your shower. Then last but not least, I'm just going to show you the main fuse and breaker panel. Pushing that, flopping that down. Whenever a breaker trips, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. And whenever you have a fuse blow, there'll be a little red indicator light telling you which one's blown. That's going to be it for this trailer here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.